Welcome to Gornosferatu's Game Room. Today we're going to be playing PowerWash Simulator. Specifically, the new Warhammer 40k pack that came out today. So, we're going to start here with a Land Raider in the Forged Temple on the Ring of Iron of Mars. As we can see here, we've got Blessing of the Machine Rite initiated. Induction. Tech Priest. I am your superior, Magos Pertinax PS. It is pious. It is to be your sacred duty to cleanse the Imperium's illustrious machines, to appease their machine spirit and remove any lingering befoulments. To this end, you are to be stationed at Forge Temple 48759 under the supervision of Engineer Tyros 656 and allocated an MK2 Aqua Centica Arquebus. Order. Your first assignment. A mighty Ultramarines Land Raider of the Adeptus Astartes awaits your attention. Whilst I remain skeptical that a relative novice such as yourself should perform rites on such a venerable vehicle, I am reminded of the words of Archmagos Fulcanellus. The iron once forged becomes the sword. Let us hope that this applies to you. Alright, so it looks like we're jumping on in. And I might have to actually adjust my audio settings here. I normally play this with just the, as you can hear, just the water effects here. So we're going to go in and we're going to actually adjust these settings. And we're going to turn our ambient noise and everything on, our master volume up a bit. Let's get some of that ambiance volume up. Ooh, there we go. Some footstep volume. Let's drop it down here. All right. So we got our saints on. Ooh, that water is way louder than it needs to be, so apologize for that. We're going to drop that audio back down. All right. Looks like we have a nice Warhammer styled. Oop. Looks like we have. I wonder what this is for. This is a new piece of equipment. Oh, I see. It's just the step stool. Looks like gravity is also different here. It's pretty cool. I'm going to put our equipment on the side here, and we're going to get to going. So if you've never played PowerWash Simulator, it's you have kind of a couple options. You can either single burst, which we already got an Engineer Tyros 656 says Intel subdivision of the vehicle schematic has been sent to your optic systems. Work systematically through localized contaminants. Proposition: analysis of detritus may provide vital data on adversarial capabilities. So, one thing with PowerWash Simulator is you're trying to get all the muck and grime and dirt. All dirt compositions will be screened and logged. So we're trying to get all the dirt, muck, grime, all of that off of this wonderful vehicle. And I can hit tab to occasionally highlight anywhere I maybe have missed. So here we can see we've got some mist. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. Now we're going to get this little area here. All right. And you know what? I'm going to actually go in just because I know it's going to save your speakers. It's going to save me as well. I'm going to turn that water tone and water volume down. Now we're just going to have, that way it's just not quite as abrasive audio-wise. And I can talk as well. So I've never actually played Warhammer. Never played the board game, the figurines and everything, the strategy game. I was actually just recently talking to a friend who also had never played it, and he was quite surprised to find out that the game StarCraft obviously paid pretty big homage. You could almost say it took pretty strong inspiration from the Warhammer series, which I thought a long time ago was pretty obvious when you see the Terran Marine in StarCraft versus the Space Marines in Warhammer. So design-wise, they just always seemed pretty close together. So as I'm cleaning this, we'll talk a bit more. I know there's also a Warhammer series in development, which I believe Henry Cavill, who played Superman in Man of Steel and then the Snyder-verse stuff, and he also most famously played Geralt. I should say also famously played Geralt in the Witcher series for Netflix. He is heading up that adaptation of the Warhammer story. Now, I know the few people I've talked to who really know Warhammer, seems like it has really deep, really cool lore to it. There's a lot of really cool, interesting history behind it, and so I've always thought it was interesting. I love the fusion of science or fantasy with sci-fi. That has always been really, really cool. One reason why Final Fantasy and its later iterations started to kind of include some of that, so it had more sci-fi elements. I think that famously started with Final Fantasy VI, or here in the States it was Final Fantasy III from the Super Nintendo. So we're just continuing to truck away as we clean this. The way that PowerWash Simulator works is as you get areas cleared off, it will ding. And that ding tells us that we've finished an area. We've gotten it completely cleaned. All the grime, all the muck, all of that is gone. So what our goal is to hear as many of those dings as possible. And so continue on here. Get this off. So I've turned on a mode with my washer where it just keeps spraying. I don't have to hold down a button. I've just toggled it into a spray mode. So continue to get this cleaned off. Here. It's always interesting with games like this too. There's kind of a... I'm going to go ahead and see if I can add... Yep. So I'm going to add an extension. The biggest thing an extension is going to help me with is it allows me, same with our nozzle here, it's going to make sure that it clears it without me having to do multiple passes or having to slow down as much. They'll usually make your actual width of your spray smaller, but that is a small price to pay for not having to go over something multiple times. Allows you to get things a little further away too, which is always nice. Get that one there. But yeah, if you've ever played Warhammer, feel free to leave a comment. Maybe talk about what your favorite aspect of either the board game or just the series, because there's a lot of video games made about Warhammer as well. So you might be like me and you've played the video games before, but you've never really played the board game. Maybe you've never really delved into it too much, like me as well. But if you have, leave what you really like about it in the comments. So I'd love to know a bit more about this. Sure. See if we can get this little platform here. I'm going to go up on the ladder a bit. Just gives me a good little vantage point. Get some of those nooks and crannies. I go up even further. Switch over to a wider spray here. Oop, we got our first ding, second ding. Nice. Usually they'll start coming fast and furious. Because, as we all know, it's all about family. But, no, that was a terrible joke. I always like cleaning the roof of these vehicles. Oh, there we go. Engine is here. Tyros 656 says, guidance. Complete your work, Tech Priest. Good to know I'm a text priest. No residue from the redacted profane of redacted identity unconfirmed can be allowed to linger on the Ultramarine's land raider. Alright, gotcha. I'm gonna drop on back here so we can get this in one pass. Yeah, I've always enjoyed PowerWash Simulator just because it's there's obviously the zen element of it, just cleaning up. But it's also it's kind of a quick accomplishment game. It's an easy way to get that feeling that you've accomplished something. And it's one thing I really, really do like. It's interesting because years and years ago, during the very strong debate, this was, I would say, mid 2000s, there was a pretty strong debate over the positive effects of video games, because there's a lot of conversation around the possible negative effects of video games in people. So, there was actually an article, and there have been some studies too done that have proven that video games do help quite a bit, especially when it comes to mental health, because no matter the video game, it is giving it's giving that sense of accomplishment. It's something that we all crave, that we all need, is that feeling of accomplishing something. And so video games are, for better or worse, they are great substitutes for real life accomplishments. I feel like they can be really, really good for acting as I think the correct word here, but almost acting as an addition to. So as opposed to being your sole source of the feeling of accomplishment, they act as an auxiliary to it. And that auxiliary purpose makes it to where you can feel more accomplished than ever, and it helps with your mental health, helps with your mental well-being quite a bit. It's been proven over and over again. Having that sense, having a sense of purpose is extremely profound. So, got another ding. So I know that's one reason that I became kind of drawn to these, because I am a gamer who plays everything. I've played every single genre that they've ever made. I've played every single game. I always like to give things a chance, no matter what it is. And simulator games, for the most part, for years on end, are things I would stay away from. I'd stay away from them because the reward versus the time investment was never there in my eyes. I didn't think they were bad. It's just I thought that if you're gonna play something and spend hours on end to get that auxiliary, that augmentation to your feeling of accomplishment, then it needs to be something achievable in a reasonable amount of time, because otherwise, what are you doing? You're essentially spending your time, a currency that you cannot get back. And so that's the way I've always viewed it. And it's always kind of funny, because it's kind of the whole, well, I don't want to waste my time, and I think video games are a great use of time. I don't think they're a waste of time at all, because of, as I just said, that feeling of accomplishment that they can provide, that can be great for you. They definitely are a better substitute than some other areas that we can augment our mental well-being. So yeah, so here we are continuing to clean. So that was a very, very long way to essentially say that when PowerWash Simulator came out, which wasn't the first. House Flipper was actually the first one I think that I played that truly clicked for me and went, oh yeah, the amount of time I'm spending on this, the reward is as weighty. It's as worth it. That's the time that I'm spending. So after House Flipper, I started giving more of these a look, and then when PowerWash Simulator came out, I bought that and kept up with all the updates, and it was extremely enjoyable experience. I've played every single one of the add-ons. I think the only one I haven't finished is they released a Santa's Workshop one, and I hadn't finished that one yet. That was it. Otherwise, I've finished every single level in this game. And once again, it's because of that fact that getting that feeling of accomplishment. So as we continue to work on this. Ooh, this one's going to be a nasty one. I never like when there's these kind of cylindrical shapes because you have to hit them from almost every single side you can, which means cleaning them and getting that ding can take a little bit longer. So Engine Asir Tyro 656 says, Protocol. To augment ritual fervor, a brief account of Land Raider's recent deployment will be forthcoming. That's good to know. I'd like to know how it got this dirty. Oh, guess that was it in that text chain. He didn't send anything else. And you know what? That's okay. So here we are again hitting these areas. I'm gonna see what we need to hit over here. Go. So lighten it up like this can always be super helpful. Get rid of all those orange that's lighting up, so that way we should be. Definitely missed a lot here. Usually have a pretty methodical approach to this, and as I'm talking, trying to gather my thoughts and everything else for that, it's definitely throwing off my focus and making sure that I'm attacking this in a logical pattern. So let's get these guys here. Nice. Too far away at that point, so I'm going to come up here, get this little crevice, these little areas here. Angle is very important when you're trying to clean 3D objects like this. Continue to clean. Here we are. Very fun. Got another ding. Another one of those emblems for us. You have these crevices that usually are you just need to grab with a nice angled spray to them. More of this here. Again, getting every single side that we can on these. And those I'm going to actually wait for when I get a little bit further down. I think this is the side we were originally starting on. Yep, there's our ladder. So I came top side, which is going to, of course, be the biggest area that we have to clean. We got another ding there. And they ding at, I think it's something like 98%. One of those is what I want to say. I want to see what else. Get that. That area there. As well as, looks like we have a whole nasty under area on this thing. Let's see. Yeah, if you see me randomly jumping up, it's because of the fact that so the crouch has kind of 3 toggle modes in this game. So you can toggle down to mid and then lower. And your lower is always going to I could totally just hit the button and immediately toggle on to the next, which is standing up, but for whatever reason I feel like I need to flourish and I need to hit that jump to get back to my feet. I'm going to do what I like to call the top side tango, which is where we are going to jump on top of these cylindrical shapes. That will allow us to get some of the top areas, which we would not normally get. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Right. Continue to hit some of these guys here. One of my favorites, which I don't see on here, is which makes sense they didn't put it on here because you can just rip through some of these jobs with it, is it's a turbo nozzle, but it's 3 that it sprays out. And the beauty of that one is that you can kind of just go like this and it just cleans everything in its path, which is great. But we don't have access to that in this add-on, this DLC, so we're going to take it just a little bit at a time as we get this guy clean. Move my nozzle since I'm so close to these right now. And get that as clean as we can here. This is another reason I don't like these cylindrical barrels, just because you have to sit there and get every nook and cranny in order for it to finally ding. Did get that ding, which is great. So got a whole bunch. See, and I could totally see this being an add-on that if you are a Warhammer fan, because, you know, you're working with these models, these figurines and stuff so much, the attention to detail is probably something that you'd be super happy about. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced this last year, so they took some time to actually cook this and make it good. Ultramarines 2. And so you can see how when I went wider with it, takes a few passes to truly get everything. Closer you are, the better off you're gonna be, but I figured I'd do that just to show really quickly. So I'm going to switch it back here in just a second. We'll see how much we can grab of this wider one. Get these treads here too. So if I do a mid extension, it will pull that spray in just a bit, but give us just a little bit more pressure, which actually may may work out in our favor. I'm trying to get this clean off. Pretty good here. So you want that kind of black inky stuff is really nice because it's coming off one pass. Almost like a charcoal or something. All that grime, though, definitely is not coming off nicely. Now, the other thing, since this is the first time I've ever played this game on the game room, I'll show you, is what's called a soap nozzle. So, our cleaning liquid, I'm pretty sure this is all going to be metal, and we can check that by looking in the top left-hand corner near our clean percentage. It tells us that it is metal, what we're staring at. So, what this kind of helps with is it gives a nice big spray in a circular pattern that it cleans all that metal off. So we can see it almost completely took care of this in a flash. So as long as I have the money and it has enough in the shop, we can speed this up a bit by just using some soap. I'm going to jump on down here to the front and we're going to take care of this front area. So. And then we got our Land Raider pilot, name withheld, data recording, pilot. Mission debrief. On our way to reinforce the fleet's Secundus, we were diverted to a distress signal from the planet withheld strategic Astamare B785. Imperial forces stationed there claimed they had detected the presence of a restricted artifact, H-class, before encountering the redacted heretical. The value of a redacted classified item could be of extreme significance. The other thing with the soap here is that you only have so much of it and then you have to refill. And if you're spraying without it filled, it is practically worthless. You got ding off of that. I always like that. Okay, so we're out of our cleaner. We're going to really quickly go to the shop and see if... Oop, I don't need clothing. Sorry. I want to see if there's any more metal. Nope. We are completely out of the metal cleaner. So, we're going to switch back to our... Let's do a 15 here. And we're just going to start grabbing some of this here. It's all nice and cleaned up. So we can see how it did speed us up quite a bit doing that. A lot more than we probably originally anticipated. And then here's where we started. We can get these. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a longer extension so we can hopefully get some of these cracks and crevices here. Good, we got that one. Let's go under, just make sure we get that under area. So the longer the extension, not only does it pull your spray in so you don't get as wide, but it does allow you to actually hit areas much further away with the same quality that you would if you were close up. So that is another important thing to take advantage of, because it gives you a wider perspective here. Right now I'm going under. I'm glad I'm going under because it looks like there's going to be quite a bit of this stuff underneath. We also have a decent amount here on the sides. Yeah. It's up there. And we've got on the tread here too. Okay. So right now just hitting the overall outer track armor. So, and then of course we have our track. So hit that. As best we can. Get some of those that we missed. And then get this inside area here as well. So we're nearing 80%. I bet you at 80% there'll be another message. Feel like. I may be wrong. We'll see. Yep. Land Raider pilot, name withheld. Data recording pilot, arriving on withheld strategic Astamare B785. We found ourselves overrun by redacted heretical. However, we were close enough to detect the presence of the restricted artifact H-class. Fortunately, those before us were wise enough to encase it within an restricted technology X402. It was clear we must return in greater numbers before the restricted artifact H-class is damaged or lost to the redacted heretical. Good to know. Debrief complete. All right. Appreciate that I was given that debrief. Although a majority of it was redacted. To my knowledge is pretty accurate to the Ultramarines on that faction. So looks like we got these sides. These little fin things that stick out are always fun too, because you have to get both sides of them. Make sure we don't forget any of that. Okay, so we got just a little bit here and a little bit on these ones here. So we got this ramp, which is looking pretty good so far. I think we're good. I believe that's, yeah, we're at the lowest we can go. Trying to see if maybe there is something even lower on that one. You can see there's a lot of little that's left behind now. And a lot of this little is stuff that was left behind from our soap spray that we did a little while ago. So it's another thing is the soap spray can get you some pretty nice dings, but then at the same time, it can set you up to have to do a lot of cleanup back with a regular nozzle too. I'm going to switch over to the longest one we have. And just kind of stand back here and give it a once over for everything. Got another ding there. That's always beautiful. And another ding. The dings will start rolling in more and more. They'll be fast and furious, as I said. Okay. I'm going to stay on that 15. see if we can get a bunch of this here and there. Nice, nice, nice. May end up having to pop back over here to finish some stuff up, just because it is one of those things that can get exhausting and not as fun, not as rewarding if you're sitting here just trying to get it to register a little bit of that spray that you have here on the bottom. So let's go ahead and move out. Oh, there's our top for that. Perfect. Some of that, more of that gun there. And I'd love to finish this track, but it feels like it's definitely one of those that it's going to be a, you have to clean it entirely one way and then clean it entirely another way. Oh, let's get that. Oh, there's a bunch right there. So we got our heavy bolter armor, which is great. We need to get our actual heavy bolter too. So climb up here. So we got that feels good. There's our heavy bolter. Okay, we got our heavy bolter now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick pass over look from this angle and hit everything that I can see. That. And this too, and that. Nice, nice. What else we got? Oh, yes. Oh. I was like, oh, why is there a pickup equipment? I didn't even notice that there was the large stairwell. This thing right over here. It really did retheme everything that they could to make it to where it was Warhammer. Get as much of this as I can. Perfect. I like it. And sometimes you do end up having to utilize some of these tools to get that perspective that you deeply need. And so we're going to probably do that here in just a minute, in order for us to be able to finish up this 7% that we have. So I've been trying not to give you guys too much whiplash here, this gameplay. And one thing you can do, it's that button. Where are we? Let's see if I find the button. There it is. So this is one way to make sure that you don't get more whiplash. Well, I generally like to play it with it locked on my view. So that's just me, though. So I will get this on here. So continue to grab all of this here. Let's go up here real quick. I'm gonna get that better angle, like I said. We've got our outer track armor done over there, which is nice. Let's actually move this, so we're gonna go ahead and move it over. Right to here. Let's go up, and let's. Now we got a pretty good little angle to everything. So let's get this guy all cleaned up. Alright. Nice little angling. Hopefully we get ourselves some. It's interesting, it's not quite. Oh. No, I'm still long. Interesting, I wasn't quite doing what I'd expect from a long extension. Oh yay, I finished that track. That's always nice. Get some of this in between these pipes. So I'll move along and we'll try and get ourselves to angles that make sense, that work for cleaning this stuff up. Nice. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Good. That's good. Here we are. We're getting it. We're getting it. 96%. We're doing good. The fun part's always at the very, very end. And I should say there's a lot of fun parts in this. I'm playing Power Simulator, but when I say fun, I am being, as of course, sarcastic. The fun part is when you're trying to figure out, you got like a couple percent left, and then trying to get whatever you've missed. And finding out which pieces are still not clean. And when it's only like little bits that you gotta get clean, definitely make it a little bit fun. So there's still quite a bit up here. Got that guy. And over here wants to get clean too. Beautiful. I'll probably be looking at. Nope, that's just that, I think. Yeah. Let's go ahead and more of this here. As much as possible. I want to get cleaned off. Cleaned off. We call it the PowerWash song. Clean, clean, cleaning you off. Hitting you with pressurized water to get you clean. Alright, let's see. Let's do that. Whole bunch of this here. Be cleaned. And this is one of those that I wish there was a, so some of the jobs when you go to clean, they'll have a function where you can actually interact with. And the interacting with sometimes will open up perspectives. So if I could just press a button and move this away from the wall, so it's a little easier to access every side, nook and cranny, that would be great. But it does not look like it is the case, yeah. So we're gonna get a little more perspective over here. It is amazing. Your character in this game is so strong. You just pick up an entire scaffolding. No problem. No issue whatsoever with it. Sure, this makes it a much easier viewing experience when you're not whipping around all over the place. So if I do any other videos reporting me playing this game, I will make sure to always use that. It's not exactly, like I said, the way I prefer to play, but that doesn't matter so much when I'm trying to record a video for you guys to hopefully enjoy. Really quickly. Okay. And if that outer track armor was just working a little bit better. That's nice. The swivel's good. Oops. What do we have here? I'm going to pass across those. Get that. I'm trying to see if I can get this outer track armor finished since it is so close for us. So embedded things are no fun. No fun to clean at all. It's one of those that's like, come on, just ding. Ding. Yeah, there, you're there. You are pretty much there. Just ding, 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 ding. There you go. All right. So, oh, I just saw it go. Track armor hatch. That looks like this one right here. And I think yep, I can see him right there. At least a few of them for sure. Right there. So we're gonna go ahead and climb up here. Oh, should have track armor hatch sigil was one of those too that looks like needed to be done. There we go. And then we're good there. And now play a game of run and jump and get over here. Again, it's all a matter of perspective with this game. Making sure you're in a perspective where you can actually get things clean. And got it, good. Good. Nice, and let's see this gun. The gun gonna let me get it clean or not? That track there as well needs to be gotten clean. Same with this gun in that corner. course, my big problem is the fact that I am so close to these right now. There we go. That, and then we have the track. Got the track clean. Got that. Get heavy bolter clean. So we got both our heavy bolters cleaned up. Still have this hatch. Yep. We got that plaque we need to get clean. Make sure every inch of it's clean. There we go. How about the Aquila? Okay, we're good on there. Inner track frame. So we have that there. So we're at 99%, which is pretty close, but not quite close enough. When you get down to your last 3, what it will do is it generally will, oh, got all these exhaust stacks, or is it engine armor? So, get this engine armor cleaned up a bit here. This whole thing here is our engine armor. Yep, that one's fine. So it's only this side here. We got these in here, but yeah, when you get down to your last 3, it's going to put it on the right hand side, and it's going to tell you what the name of them is. And this is what I was talking about when I said that it gets fun, because very sure with this one I want to, again, let's flip this all the way around if we can. Taking sweet time flipping. Oop. Alright, I want, there we go. Okay. So, what we have to do is we have to go through here and we look and go 98%. Last cannon armor. Well, we know what the last cannons are. They're these things, so it's not that one, because we had 2. So it's this one over here's armor. And it even highlights it for us. Really, really nice of it. So we're going to get in nice and close and try and get all that grime off, so that way we can mark this one. It might be too close now, but we're still going to try and get in that crack, crevice there for us. Yep, I'm on the shortest I can get. There we go. Okay, so we're now down to our last 3. See, we've got a to-do. So we've got a searchlight here, probably just going to be in this upper area, I would imagine. And I probably missed some from behind. Yep, because it's got this nice little searchlight here. Okay. So, we need our skid plate. Now, I don't remember where the skid plate was, so to help me out, I'm going to find the skid plate, click on it, and then look around for a flashing part. That flashing part is our skid plate that we need. So, if I can't see it from the top here, don't see one. There it is. Okay. So here's our skid plate that we need to get done. Which our skid plate was so close. It's painful how close it was. Alright. Here we go. So get our skid plate done. Now, we need our track armor hatches. So, I'm going to do the same thing here. Click. Find where our track armor hatches are. They should be next to our tracks. There it is right there. Alright. So, with that, once we get this done and it dings, we are all complete. So, we're going to go down here and make sure that we get all of it. See if there's a better spot for this ladder. It really isn't, but we'll go ahead, I guess, and just hit it. And there we are. And now, the fun part is once I hit exit, we're going to see a quick lapse, a time lapse of our job. So we're going to see what we just did together in the last hour. Got it all nice and cleaned. And so now the last bit of story for this is the Magos Pertinax Pius says, Canticle complete. Tech Priest, your efficacy in this blessed task succeeded chronological metrics. I feel the motive force of the venerable vehicle resonate. The Omnissiah has indeed brought us a worthy adept. I shall see to it that Tyrus 656 reserves only the most glorious and arduous benedictions for your attention. In the meantime, it would be prescient to reflect on the further reduction of your biologica, to increase your efficacy further. Blessed be the Omnissiah. And with that, we've now unlocked a new one to do, which is a Dreadnought. But that's where I'm going to stop it today. Thank you very much for coming and joining me in the game room. And like I said, if you do play Warhammer, or if you have any opinions of it, feel free, throw them in the comments below. Bye.